guys, JuV Day 5, and today's video is one I struggled a lot to come up with an idea for properly. So that's always fun, but I'm going to basically talk about some of the fiction projects that I have come up with over my time as a writer, and sort of give you some ideas as to why I went with them in one way or other, or why I haven't done them, as the case may be. The one that's actually seen the light of day in terms of actually getting out there is Bunker 12, obviously. That came out almost 2 years ago. It's actually been full 2 years since that came out, and I was looking to do it in, there's a bunch of things that caused me to choose the idea, and the first of all was that it would just be a really easy thing to do for sets. Basically, I would get one small cast, and it would just make sense to just keep it all contained. And how best to contain them? A bunker that's in an apocalypse of some sort. That just made sense. So I sort of thought, oh, I'll do that. And a lot of the inspiration for that had come from Wolfgang, which is Dale Kingsmill's series that she had done on her YouTube channel around that time. It was a year-long one around the full moon each month, and it was about some werewolves who got together to hang out while they were transformed so that they could, not hurt anyone else. And it was a real cute thing, and it gave a good reasoning for each of them to sort of be in the place that they were in. So I was going for that. That was a pretty heavy inspiration for Bunker 12, and I hope I did it justice, really. I think I did a pretty good job, but there's definitely a bunch of things I would do differently now because I'm more knowledgeable about production, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that I've learned since that, I would do things quite differently in some ways, but I think that the final product's still not bad, so that's good. Another project that I had an idea for and that has never really come to pass yet is it's another web series. It's a superhero based one, and I just wanted to sort of play around with some superhero tropes in some ways, and I was like, I would do it as a web series, doing it as sort of the diary room as a team is sort of in the middle of forming, sort of Avengers, but not so seamlessly joining together, or not so seamlessly joining together outside of the combat situations that they end up in. Like they pretty seamlessly end up as being a team, but their personal lives are all sort of scattered and messy, and I've got the ideas for all the main characters. I've got like a sort of whole thing going around, and I just had a bunch of ideas, and I want to go back to them at some point, but it's on the back burner, quite a ways away from me being able to feel able to do that, but we'll see. I'll get on with that at some point, hopefully. The next project I want to talk about is one that's been sort of in my brain for ages, and it's still not quite fully formed yet, but it's one that I am starting to write a bit. I've got some ideas in and of themselves. It's sort of started off with just this idea of doing some sort of person in their shower sort of being hunted or stalked by some demons or something, and then having to do a protective rune or whatever in the water in their shower, like on the cubicle doors or whatever of their shower. And I've always really liked that imagery because it would be like really desperate, but that's kind of taken some different sort of themes in my brain since that I won't go into, because as I said, I've started writing it but not really gotten too far into it. But I've got some different ideas, and it's kind of playing into an elemental magic system a bit, and I'm interested to see where I can take that as I go on. Next thing that I'm going to talk about is an idea that I did for Nanowrimo several years ago, which I think it was like 2014. I think it was the year after I won. I've only won once and never again, and I've never actually completed my story for Nano, so I'm totally a huge success in terms of being a writer, aren't I? But we'll see how I get on with that, but eventually. But the idea that I want to talk about is just this little idea involving, like, I had this fight scene that I was really keen on, or it was like being chased by an Umber Hulk, so, you know, the sort of D&D monster, big huge hulking bug thing, and it's just chasing this guy down the hallway, and he's like trying to bar the door so that he can actually try and get some plans made to be able to beat this thing. And then I went on from there to just turn. It was just a bit of a sort of, there was a sort of god theme. I've got a lot of my ideas come from mythology and things, so I was going with basically ideas around, like, gods being founders, being the ancestors of different humans and bloodlines and stuff. It's sort of standard fantasy fare, and I realise that now, but I still quite enjoy some of the work that I've made on that, so I'll need to go back for it at some point. I think that first Nano project that I described was actually the year I did win. But other ones that I have done that didn't win included, I've done the same one twice, but quite differently. So I did one involving, there's one that I've got that's involving a trans magic addict. Like, she was addicted to the sort of magic she could get by fighting people or fighting other magical creatures and stuff, and I still quite like the sort of concept. I explored a bit in that, and I definitely want to try that one again. Maybe the third time's the charm, because I've tried it twice. Yeah. And another one that I did, which was not the year I won, I think. It was this whole idea involving a heist at a bank and a journalist reporting on it, and then getting swooped up into being involved in the actual, like, formal investigation by, I think it was like the FBI type thing, or the MI5, I can't remember what organisation it was, but it turned out a bunch of whole, like, alien artifacts and stuff and magic was involved, and it was very slightly inspired by the Doctor Who episode Time Heist, which I quite enjoyed at the time. It was not long after it, I think, so it was one that I quite liked that inspiration for. What other Nanowrimo projects have I done? Various. I've only ever completed one piece of fan fiction, and it was quite a short piece involving the origin of Flynn Rider, Eugene, whatever his face was, from Tangled. And that's a weird one for me. Like, you wouldn't expect me to have written a Tangled fan fiction, really, would you? But I still quite like it. It was quite a decent piece, and it's like one of the few pieces of work I've ever actually really properly finished creatively on that sort of bit, and I think it was just the fact that it was short and sweet. Well, I think that's enough of me rambling about different writing projects that I've done. I think that there's some good ones. If you want to check them out, get in contact with me, and I may or may not show you them. There's some good stuff, but there's also some weird stuff, and like I was a lot younger at the time that I did some of these, so there's a lot of things I would do potentially differently. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to check out some of these, but also tell me about some of your writing projects. I would love to know, so tell me down there. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you remember to like and share it and subscribe to my channel. Click on the thumbnails over there to see other videos by me, click on the link in the description to join my Discord, and I will see you guys tomorrow for the next day of JuV. Bye!